State your name and place of employment for the record.
Katie Erickson, John Glenn Middle School.
Where were you Friday, December 15th between the hours of 2:45 and 5 p.m.?
Well, I was at a math team coach meeting
When did you last see Mr. Moeller alive?
that morning.
How did you get along with Mr. Moeller?
Fine for the most part, but I did win the football pool and he didn't pay up.
Have you had any reason to need money lately?
Well, I'm trying to get some more credit, so was counting on that football money.
Do you have anything else to add that might help us solve the mystery?
I would definitely take a look at Mr. Lyle because he wears those polyester ties, and I know there were some fibers found at the scene.
Well, thank you very much. We'll be in touch. State your name and place of employment for the record.
My name is Britta Peterson, and I teach 8th grade science at John Glenn Middle School.
Where were you Friday, December 15th between the hours of 2:45 and 5 p.m.?
Oh yeah, it was my birthday, right? So Mrs. Sacrament, she took me out for dinner at the Great Moon Buffet, right? Because we love to go there and we get all the good stuff and we load up our plate and then we chit chat and talk about science stuff. So she was going to take me out for dinner because of my birthday. So that's where I was.
So when did you last see Mr. Moeller alive?
Well, Mr. Muller's kind of a pest, you know. He's into my stuff all the time. He keeps bothering me. I think I saw him earlier in the day where he was coming in and saying, hey, whatever he says and all that kind of, okay. So it's earlier in the day, I think maybe third hour, but then I didn't see him after that.
How did you get along with Mr. Moeller?
Well, as I said, he's kind of a pest, and he's getting into my stuff, and he really is a troublemaker that way. He seems to just get into things that he shouldn't, and so that ticks me off. So I'm a little irritated with him right now. So okay, I guess.
Have you had any reason to need money lately?
Sure. Well, it's the holiday time, and I need to, my kids, want some things for Christmas, and so there's always that money, and making sure that the house payment is paid, and I got a good car and tires. Thank you for my car, and all that. So there's always money that I need. Mm-hmm.
Do you have anything else to add that might help us solve this mystery?
Well, I know one of the suspects. Mr. Yang. He got his car hit, right? And that's got to tick him off a little bit, right? Because he's got to get to school, and then it costs a lot of money to get your car fixed. And I know Mr. Yang was really ticked off. And And speaking of Mr. Yang, we're being scientists, and forensics and all that. And I think there was some fibers found at the scene. And I know that Mr. Yang had a polyester tie that he likes to wear, all the time. He's kind of, chic like that, So I know that I saw him do that. But otherwise, you should check with Mr. Yang because he was even more ticked off than maybe I was. Or maybe I was more ticked off.
Well, thank you for your time. We'll be in touch. State your name and place of employment for the record.
I'm Diana Sackman, and I teach 8th grade science at John Glenn Middle School.
Where were you Friday, December 15th between the hours of 2:45 and 5 p.m.?
I can tell you that because it was my colleague's Britta Peterson's birthday, and we went to the Great Moon Buffet to celebrate.
When did you last see Mr. Moeller alive?
Yeah, Mr. Mueller. I think I saw him earlier that morning because I had to leave, and because I had to leave, I wanted to get paid for the nice gift I gave him by setting up the Wild Suite for him and his family, who was in town, who were big hockey fans, who they totally used the room and had peanut shells and popcorn all over it, and I had to clean it all, or had to pay to have it all cleaned up. They charged me for damages, is what they called it. So, anyways, I wanted my money for that because he told me he was going to pay me to reimburse me for that, and he hasn't yet. So I saw him that morning.
So, how did you get along with Mr. Moeller?
Well, fine. I mean, I would have never set anything up like this if I knew he was going to, stick it to me like that and give me all that money out of my pocket. My gosh, he was supposed to be a decent human being, but I don't know what's wrong with him now.
Have you had any reason to need money lately?
Yeah, I mean, it's the holidays. I got family coming into town. I've got this big party planned. I can't do anything because he hasn't paid me.
Do you have anything else to add that might help us solve this mystery?
Well, I don't know, but I sure didn't kill him. But I would like to have had. No, I didn't mean that. But what I do mean is that there's been a lot of other people that he's been all up in arms with because he hasn't paid them money. So I think you should investigate those fibers at the crime scene. Something tells me that's going to lead to something. And you know what? I don't know what fibers you are, what I found at the crime scene, but I can tell you that Mrs. Peterson has a nice rip in her lab coat. I wonder what that was from. And them lab coats are made of cotton, so.
Okay, well, thank you so much for your time, and we'll be in touch.
Sounds good.
State your name and place of employment for the record.
My name is Dao Yang. I work here at John Glenn as an 8th grade, 7th grade social studies teacher.
Where were you Friday, December 15th, between the hours of 2:45 and 5 p.m.?
At that time, I would have been headed over to my graduate class at Concordia University in St. Paul.
When did you last see Mr. Moeller alive?
I want to say I probably saw him sometime during that day. He's always running around the place, but I want to say that I did see him. I think he might even bumped into a couple kids.
How did you get along with Mr. Moeller?
For the most part, we get along all right. I mean, lately, though, I've been hearing he's been having a lot of trouble with other people as well. I know, from what I'm hearing with Miss Vang, there's some problems there. Something about some wool mittens on her end there. I know that with me, you've probably heard this as well. He did borrow my car, and there was an accident, and I've been expecting some payment for that.
Have you had any reason to need money lately?
Well, I mean, obviously, it's the holidays, and everybody needs money right now. We're pretty strapped.
Do you have anything else to add that might help us solve this mystery?
Like I said, you're looking in the wrong place if you're thinking I'm going to have anything to do with this. I'd say look at Miss Vang. I've heard something about some wool mittens of hers.
Well, thank you for your time.
Yeah.
We'll be in touch.
All right, thank you.
State your name and place of employment for the record.
Jared Lyle, John Glenn Middle School.
Where were you on Friday, December 15th, between the hours of 2:45 and 5 p.m.?
I was going up to Chisago Lakes for a wrestling tournament.
When did you last see Mr. Moeller alive?
Well, he was supposed to go up that turn, but he never made it.
How did you get along with Mr. Moeller?
We got along all right until he decided not to pay me for coaching wrestling with him.
Have you had any reason to need money lately?
Yeah, of course. I have kids, 3 kids. We have Christmas coming up. We got bills to pay. Hey, I need plenty of money.
Do you have anything else to add that might help us with solve this mystery?
Rumor has it that seeing the crime there's wool. And you know who wears wool? Miss Erickson. She wears that stuff all the time.
Well, thank you for your time. We'll be in touch. State your name and place of employment for the record.
Melissa Carey, John Glenn Middle School.
Where were you Friday, December 15th, between the hours of 2:45 and 5 p.m.?
I was at a meeting at North High School.
When did you last see Mr. Moeller alive?
Well, last time I saw him, he was messing around with people's computers like he always does, thinking it's fun putting these little memes out on email and just goofing around.
How did you get along with Mr. Moeller?
Well, fine, I guess, up until he started messing with my computer.
Have you had any reason to need money lately?
Well, yeah, I've got 3 kids I gotta feed, and the holidays, of course I need money.
Do you have anything else to add that might help us solve this mystery?
Well, now that you mention it, the other day I was walking past Miss Sackman's room, and Mr. Moeller and her were in there, and I just heard some yelling about like a wild game or something like that. I don't know. I kind of quit paying attention because I got a little distracted. I noticed that she had on this nice like silk scarf. It was really cute. I really liked it. Kind of wondering where she got it. But yeah, so I'm not sure what they were yelling about. I just noticed her nice pretty scarf.
Well, thank you for your time. We'll be in touch.
No problem.
State your name and place of employment for the record.
My name is Chi Vang, and I teach 7th and 8th grade English at John Glenn Middle School.
Where were you Friday, December 15th, between the hours of 2:45 and 5 p.m.?
Let's see, I was right after school. I think on that day I was giving Mr. Yang a ride to his class.
When did you last see Mr. Moeller alive? Just say. Are you not sure?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
He had been coming into my class a few times to meet with some students, but I don't remember the exact date.
Well, how did you get along with Mr. Moeller?
Well, we just met this year. We talked a few times, but I was pretty upset that he couldn't give me my butter braids that I paid for. So that's not really a good impression for first time meeting somebody.
Have you had any reason to need money lately?
Not really. No.
Do you have anything else to add that might help us solve this mystery?
Well, I work very closely with Ms. Gelking, and so I know that there were some rayon shirt. I know that Ms. Gelking had a rayon shirt that might be something that can help with this investigation.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for your time, and we'll be in touch. State your name and place of employment for the record.
My name is Dawn Gelking, and I teach 7th and 8th grade language arts at John Glenn Middle School.
Where were you Friday, December 15th, between the hours of 2:45 and 5 p.m.?
Let's see, man, I've been really busy lately. Friday? Actually, I remember. I had to take my kids to their church function. They're going to be in the Christmas play, and so they had a rehearsal that they needed to go to, so I had to leave kind of early right after school that day.
When did you last see Mr. Moeller alive?
Ugh, Mr. Moeller, I tell you. He was actually in my room earlier that day because his wife and I had been working on some crafting things that she's doing for a community ed project, and I've been giving the stuff to Mr. Moeller to take to his wife, and then he's supposed to be getting the money from his wife to pay for me, and he stopped by without the money again. It's been like weeks. The dude just doesn't, I think he's doing something with it on the side, actually.
How did you get along with Mr. Moeller?
Well, generally, we have a pretty good relationship. I really like his wife, but man, I think the guy's kind of irresponsible.
Have you had any reason to need money lately?
Actually, yes. I am kind of starting up a business, and so a lot of kind of money things go involved with that. And, it's the holidays, so everybody needs money for that too.
Do you have anything else to add that might help us solve this mystery?
Yeah, I heard some people talking about some fibers that were found at the crime scene, and I saw Miss Carrie. She was wearing this kind of fancy rayon shirt. I don't know if that's going to be helpful to you or not, but I just noticed that was kind of odd because she doesn't usually wear kind of fancy-ish like that.
Well, thank you for your time. We'll be in touch.
No problem.